Yo, what's up? Moose here bringing you another video. This time, going to be talking about tournament consistency. You know, how many times have you went 0-2 at tournament and you don't know why? You play pretty well in training, you play pretty well in friendlies against really good players, probably PGR, but you still do really poorly at tournaments or at majors. I'm here to talk about how you can remedy that a little bit. If this sounds like you in the very slightest, you might want to check this one out. Let's get started. Alright, first things first, you have to practice. You have to play the game on a consistent basis to get real results. You're not going to get anywhere by playing once a week at your local tournament. You're just going to get the same results the same exact way. Maybe sometimes you get a little lucky, or you have a good night and you get a little further, but you're not going to get a drastic improvement without consistent practice. And that being said, you need to know what to practice for. This is why you have to research the game, you have to study the game, you have to take the game seriously in order to get real results. Like any other sport or anything competitive at all, they took it seriously at some point to get over that big hurdle. Next up, play friendlies at your local tournament. Play friendlies anywhere for that matter. Don't be scared to get in there and just ask for friendlies from people. The reason you want to play friendlies is for multiple reasons, but the obvious one is you want to expose yourself to different play styles so that when you do get in tournament, a certain play style doesn't catch you off guard. And I know that sounds a bit far-fetched because people might play all types of ways, but you can only try, right? With that being said, not only do you want to expose yourself to different play styles, you want to expose yourself to better players. You don't want to, keep yourself stagnant in the same group of friends. Even if you guys are at the same level, you guys will get used to each other's play styles, and that's when your habits and patterns become stagnant, and it might even be bad habits in tournament. What works on your friends in your friend group won't work on the next guy at tournament, needless to say. So, yeah, play friendlies. Do not be scared to play friendlies. Alright, next up, know the stage rules. Know the ban list. Know if you get 2 bans or 3. Know about the rock, paper, scissors. Know who strikes first. Know what happens if someone wants a double blind pick. Just know the rules, because it matters what stage you go to depending on your opponent and depending on what character you're playing. Know what your character advantages are on what stages. You need to explore all of that. You don't want to be taken surprised by the fact that your opponent banned all the stages except for Lylat and Final Destination, and you don't want to go to Final Destination because maybe you play a slower character and you're not comfortable with playing out the neutral, so you go to Lylat, but you're not really comfortable with playing with Lylat either because you never go to Lylat. So just be comfortable with the stage bans. They're very important and most likely determine the first game. At the very least, it determines the first game on if you're going to have a hard time, or if you're going to have a decent time, or if you're going to have a fairly easy time. It all depends on your character, your opponent's character, and the stage pick. They do matter. Do not just gentlemen's to PS1 or PS2 because it's faster. Take the time to know what the stages do to your character or for your character. Next up on the list is be comfortable playing your tournament games. And what I mean by that is exactly what that is. Anything that would annoy you or anything that would make you uneasy, just eliminate that whole process. If you have to wear headphones, wear headphones. If you have to take the change out of your pocket because you hate the sound it makes when you hit your hand on your pockets, please remove that element. Just do whatever you can to be comfortable. With that being said, you want to drink water because that goes hand in hand with comfortability. You don't want to be dehydrated during these things. These things last hours, so don't risk having cotton mouth in the middle of a match, especially probably a big tournament win. You should have a water bottle on you most of the time, if not all times. And then don't go hungry. I know there's a myth that you do well or you do significantly better in tournament when you don't eat for the day, and I can assure you that is a goddamn lie. Okay, don't starve yourself at the tournament. Like I said, these things last hours. Don't go 8+ hours without eating. You should eat an hour or 30 minutes before, and maybe don't eat there. What I mean by that is don't have a full course meal in the middle of your tournament, because for me it messes up my whole flow. I have greasy hands now. I touch my controller, my hands slip while I'm trying to do an up smash, so I do a down smash instead. It's a whole thing. Just avoid that whole thing. Drink water, eat before you get there, and take your stuff out of your pockets. Tell your friends to shut up and let you play. Yeah. Don't go without eating. That's the big one. Don't go without eating. Next up, I want to be talking about characters and sticking to yours during tournament. So don't switch to a character that you're not so familiar with, or maybe you are familiar, but you don't have the matchup experience to actually bring them to the tournament. So you do it anyway, and you lose game 1. Well, now you switch to your main character and you lose with him too. You're basically throwing away a time to read your opponent by going to a character you're not familiar with. And I know that makes no sense, because you're saying, well, I'm reading my opponent with the character I have. Normally you would, but what takes away from your observation is that you're paying more attention to this character that you're not so confident with. In general, you're supposed to pay attention to your opponent more than yourself, but when you're playing a character that you're not so confident with, that is hard to do when you're focusing on if I'm pressing the right buttons. Am I doing this combo right? You got to have everything down pat. So that's why you shouldn't switch characters unless you're 100% confident. You've actually practiced against really good players with this character. You've been labbing combos. You did your research. You've watched PGR players play this character. You know what's in store. Just don't do it. 9 times out of 10, you're just going to experience the fact that you're not as good with your secondary or third character as you thought you were. The next up on the list is play the same way you would play anyone else. Don't give anyone any leeway just because they're your friend or they're like a top player or something. And to shed light on that, your friend, obviously, you guys are goofing off or you're picking all random. Just avoid all that and just play the best you can. And your friend should also do the same. If you're better than your friend, then they should strive to try to beat you, and vice versa. If they're better than you, you should strive to beat them. It's all the sake of the competition, and it shouldn't be, doom and gloom. I automatically lost because this guy beats me all the time, or it shouldn't be, let's throw this match away because, we came here together. This is stupid. Just be competitive. Sometimes it's unavoidable to play against your friends in tournament. You can ask the TL to avoid that situation, but sometimes there's not enough people at the tournament, and it's just unavoidable. So just play how you would play any other person. That being said, do the same for top level players. The top 10, top 20 players at your local tournament. Don't show them any leeway. Just because they're top players doesn't mean they're infallible. You can beat them. They make mistakes too, just like the next person. They just have a ton of practice. If you're a new player, take it all in. Don't take the loss as the end of the world. You should learn from every loss. You should even ask them what you can do to improve, even if you win or lose. You should discuss your games among other players, among other good players. That's going to give you information. Just because they have tournament ranking doesn't make them, end all be all. You can also be that as well. You just got to put the time in. You just got to take it seriously. See what I did there? So yeah, don't give anybody the benefit of the doubt, and don't give anyone, a leg up against you. Always play them as serious as you would anyone else. Just for tournament consistency's sake, you want to have the same mindset you came in with. You don't want to ruin your one track because you're goofing off with your friend, or because some top player is intimidating. Don't be intimidated by a top player. They're just a player just like you, and they can be beaten by you. Next thing I want to talk about is tournament reportings. Now, I have a buddy that's been reporting 2-1 when really he 2-0'd somebody against players that he more or less destroys. He, destroys them game 1, and then game 2 they don't even play it because they unplug their controller. Frame 1 wraps up, walk away, leaves the building. But he reports it 2-1. Why he reports it 2-1, I have no idea. Why he's giving people W's that don't deserve it. That being said, it is ruining his tournament consistency. Why? Because this ruins the future seedings for him. Now, if you're consistently destroying round 1, round 2, round 3, you are more likely to be seeded higher than you would, in passing. Because he's putting 2-1, that lessens the chances that he will be seeded higher than he should be. That being said, there are people doing the opposite of what he's doing. Not everyone is a nice guy. Some people are pretty scummy out there. Going 0-2 and then reporting that they actually went 1-2 or even 2-0 or maybe even reporting that they won when they didn't. Just be careful of the reportings. Maybe nothing nefarious is going on at all, and maybe the TO is making a mistake, or maybe it's a typo, he wasn't paying attention or something like that. Just make sure the right reporting was reported. So it doesn't hurt to check. Just check in with the TO. It's like, hey, what was the reporting? And then, you just verify. Now, I could go on and on about the seedings. That's a whole nother video. I don't think I want to talk about that in this one. It's already kind of lengthy. I think I want to end it here, actually. So, if you like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you have anything pertaining to you in this video, if you experience any of this, please let us know your experiences in the comment section. And you guys can also look forward to the next video. It's probably going to be another lab up session. I haven't decided what character yet. I've been playing around with a bunch, but yeah, that will be coming soon. So, like always, have yourself a damned good one. Peace out.